Hi guys, we're in the Florida D-Land, and I thrilled to tell you that we just met. Well, we knew actually Alex. He's the owner of Iron Venture Company, and he's the one who invented such an awesome thing which calls Wingback. It exists on the market about 5 years, and would you just introduce us what's that Wingback?
Sure. Well, thank you, Tatiana. Yeah, Wingbug is a self-encompassed pedostatic device. So as you see here, it's a small pod that mounts on the outside of your aircraft. And what it does is it gives you all your air data digitally. So it'll replicate what you normally would get in your pedostatic system on, let's say, what you have fixed in your cockpit. It can do this on a portable device such as an iPad, as well as this being portable itself. So you have your pedo tube here, you have your static ports on the side, and then you have your angle of attack and a lateral AOA, which is a side slip indicator. So all of this is transmitted via Wi-Fi right over to your iPad, and you'll have a 6-pack which gives you your layout that looks just like this. So you can see here we have knots or miles per hour, and then also you can cage your artificial horizon for depending if you run it upside down or upside right. And then you can adjust your altimeter just like you do in the aircraft. It's all barometric.
Fantastic.
And then you have, of course, your regular gauges, which is magnetometer, magnetic compass, your vertical speed, and your turn and bank. And then you also have the ball, which is based off of accelerometer data, as opposed to the lateral AOA, which is air data. And then your angle of attack is over here. You have the ability to record as well, so that will give you the ability to play back and review the flight, and we'll go over a few different views of that here in a second. And then you also have the ability to capture notes. So if you wanted to type anything in there, pulls up the keyboard. Let's say if you're going somewhere and somebody relayed instructions to you and you needed to memorize a frequency or something to that effect, you would just type it in there. And it stores it for you so you have it out of the way while you're still flying. So really the idea was not to have to really go from this screen to another screen, unless for purposes of navigation, which ideally you would be in cruise. So
Is that software you can download in any tab?
correct.
Okay.
Any iOS-based tablet. So it does not work on Android currently, but it will work on any iOS tablet. So the minis all the way up to the 10.5 Pros, for example.
Can we use Wingback like a primary gauge instruments?
So as a company, we do not recommend it for liability reasons. It's designed as a backup, as well as an ability to capture the data and take it with you to be able to review later. So like test flights, training flights, those types of things, this can capture that data and you're not having to stare at your gauges. You can be outside the airplane and focused on flying, which is ultimately what's the safest. So that's what we purposely designed it for, although it is just as accurate as any other pedostatic system. So from who wants to use it as a primary or not, as we don't recommend it, you probably still could. It would be up to you.
So it's a great backup.
It's a great backup. Yep. If you ever lost a vacuum pump, for example, in a certified aircraft, you would lose, your primary instrumentation from, if you were flying through the clouds or anything like that. So this would give you those gauges back. Because you lose that vacuum pump, you've already lost 3 of the 6 gauges. Whereas this would be a great redundant resource for that to carry with you.
How about installation part? Is it easy to install, but
Oh,
it should
yeah.
be leveled off on certain, angle?
Yeah, so we use Flight Flicks mounts, as they're called. We're a distributor for them as well. So this is an example of one. These are all CNC'd aluminum mounts, so they're very, very sturdy at this point. This one goes to what's called a tie-down mount, so there's a part missing. But actually, if you look up there, there's a simulated strut that has a tie-down hanging from it. That would be this same type of mount. And basically what you want to do is you can run it this way or this way.
Wow.
So either way you want to mount it, and it can be mounted on a wing. We have inspection port mounts, we have tie-down mounts, we have regular strut mounts. So there's all kinds of different variations, so it doesn't matter if you have a high wing, a low wing, or a strut-braced airplane. You can mount it on all of them. And this gives you the ease of being able to manipulate the Wingbug. So you would just loosen this, and of course it pivots in all different directions, right? And the trick with that is to make sure that the bottom part, or the pitot tube in this case, is parallel with the chord of the wing. That'll give you the best results from an aerodynamic perspective for both airspeed as well as angle of attack. Inside the app itself, you can set your limits for angle of attack, and that gives, so when you go out, you can actually program it for your aircraft, depending where you mount it. But it is designed to be completely removable and completely portable, so within about 5 minutes, you can have this on and off with no issues. It comes with its own little carrying case. As you can see here, you would be able to, obviously the mount would come off, and you can put it in one of the storage bins on the side, but then you have your charging cable, your instructions, and then of course the logo on the front. And it's just like your headset. It's meant to be with you.
Is there any warranty?
There is, yes. We offer up to a 3-year warranty. So 1 year standard, and then you can purchase additional time in 1 year increments all the way up to 3 years. But yeah, like I said, if you even rent a plane, maybe you don't own it, this would be perfect as well because it just goes with you and it's non-evasive.
So Alex Does it need STC to install this?
That's a great question. So no, it does not, because it's not considered installed equipment. We've worked really hard to make sure that, obviously, and FlightFlix has as well, to make sure the mounting system is robust enough and safe enough. But realistically, it's not considered installed equipment on the airplane. It's completely portable and easily removable. So this would not need an STC. It can be mounted on a certified airplane without any issues. Now, obviously, from a disclosure perspective, we want to make sure people know that not to mount it to control surfaces, things like that. I mean, those are obvious as pilots, but it is something we want to make sure people will be smart about it, because at the end of the day, you are attaching it to an aircraft that may be going in excess of 200 miles an hour. So keep that in mind. But yeah, other than that, no, you do not need an STC.
Sounds great. So definitely I'm going to get one for me and fly smarter, guys.